Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Heroes in a half shell.
Turtle power.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. What an insane collection of 4 words. It's crazy to think as what started as a parody would lead to unbelievable success. The Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles are a household name. Everyone can recognize these 4 ninjutsu brothers. Even my grandmother loves Ninja Turtles. The franchise began as a comic book titled Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, which Kevin Eastman and Peter Laird conceived as a parody of elements popular in superhero comics at the time. The first issue was published in 1984 by Eastman and Laird's company Mirage Studios and was a surprise success. In 1987, Eastman and Laird licensed the characters to Playmate Toys, which developed a line of turtle action figures. About $1.1 billion of turtle toys were sold between 1988 and 1992, making them the 3rd best-selling toy figures at the time. Since they jumped from the page of the Mirage comics to the screen in the 1987 animated series, the Turtles have become beloved by many. The unbelievable success of the animated series led to the creation of an ungodly amount of merchandise. These 4 Turtles were on everything: lunchboxes, pencil cases, bags, crayons, and anything else you could sell to kids. The toy line was doing great, with figures being released to coincide with the show. Kids couldn't get enough. With the Nintendo Entertainment System being released in the US in October of 1985, around the same time as the TMNT craze, a video game was bound to happen. The first TMNT video game was released for the Nintendo Entertainment System in 1989, the first of several developed by the Japanese company Konami. It sold approximately 4 copies, making it one of the best-selling NES games. Ever since then, there have been TMNT games released on just about every console, which brings up the topic of this video. I've played every TMNT game since the original NES title. I am so fucking exhausted from playing all these games. I want to share my experience with you, my thoughts on each of them. I am aware every Turtles game is someone's favourite, and many I believe to be great. I'm not so favourable to all of them, as we'll see. Keep in mind, these are just my opinions, so if I dunk on your favourite Turtles game, don't be offended. And with that, let's jump in and have a look, starting with the Nintendo Entertainment System. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles for the NES was published by Konami and was released on the NES in 1989, 2 years after the initial run of the TMNT animated show. During this time, it wasn't uncommon to see publishers make games out of any intellectual property. They would grab a popular IP at the time and they would throw together a half-baked game to piggyback off the success of said IP. Unfortunately, the first TMNT game is a victim of this. This was the first Ninja Turtles game to come to home consoles, and unfortunately, it shows its age. Shredder kidnaps April and gains the Life Transformer gun, a weapon capable of returning Splinter to his human form. In order to save April, the 4 Turtles embark on the streets of New York to confront the Foot Clan. While traversing the sewers, the Turtles encounter Bebop and Rocksteady. Though the Turtles defeat Bebop, Rocksteady escapes with April. The Turtles then chase Rocksteady to an abandoned warehouse, fight him, and rescue April. After disabling bombs in the Hudson River Dam, Shredder captures Splinter, so the Turtles give chase in the party wagon. Hot in pursuit, the Turtles scour the city and eventually find that Splinter is held captive by the robotic Mecha Turtle on a skyscraper rooftop. After the Turtles save Splinter, Shredder escapes in a helicopter. The Turtles give chase, tracking him to the JFK airport, where they encounter Big Mouser. After defeating Big Mouser, the Turtles head to Shredder's secret Foot Clan base in the South Bronx via the Turtle Blimp. Once there, they locate and battle the Technodrome underground. The Turtles descend into the Technodrome's reactor and ultimately defeat Shredder. With the Life Transformer gun, the Turtles help Splinter return into his human form. With a tough mission accomplished, the Turtles and April celebrate with a pizza. Initially, the player navigates the mission map in an overhead view. When a turtle enters a sewer or building interior, gameplay switches to the side-scrolling perspective. This game is fucking bullshit. This game is a shitload of This game was made around the time when games were smaller, so developers would artificially increase the difficulty to lengthen the game, but not in a more challenging way, in the most unfair and irritating way possible. As soon as you enter a stage, there will be enemies in your path. Unless you already know that they're there, you will get hit. But then even then, there will be times that attacks are just unavoidable. The movement and attacks are decent enough, but not every turtle plays the same. Each of the turtles' respective weapons have different reach, damage, and niches, And because the enemies are placed in the most inconvenient places imaginable, I hope you like Donatello because his attacks have the most range and damage and can reach the enemies that are further away. At the start of the game, you play as Leonardo, but you can swap turtles at any time, and if you die, that turtle is out for good. You can grab power-ups in some stages, like pizza, weapons, or special attacks. If your health gets low, you'll hear this horrible beeping sound. I know it was included to let the player know to switch turtles, but it's fucking awful. This game is a run-of-the-mill NES tie-in game. It has fairly decent combat and platforming challenges, but like most of the tie-in games at the time, its difficulty is artificially inflated to lengthen the game. If the player does not die, the game can be completed in around 40 minutes. Not to mention this game has one of the worst water levels to ever be put in a game. This game.